Last we left off, I was working towards making myself some Azerium, an item that combines all of our prior modded knowledge into a singular core item. In the last episode, we made ourselves a mystical agriculture farm, increased our power output with a power reactor, managed to automate all of the Ars Nouveau essences, and take on the Wilden Chimera. In doing that, it left us with merely 2 items left before needing to actually craft this. First item on the list to craft before we can combine everything together is going to be getting our hands on Purified Spirit, which is an item made by FTB, which combines a ton of different tasks for us to essentially craft within Malum. Start this crafting process, we are going to have to jump back and forth between the well and also our Helheim, which is where I have this set up for all of our Malum crafts. But back here into the well, we need to toss in a block of iron. We also need to process soulstone and chthonic gold. And all of these items should give us back these very special versions. For example, malignant lead, also more null slates, and the anomalous design. I think I got that right. Will admit, if I've made some of you mad with my pronunciations of things throughout this series, I am very sorry. I do struggle with that. Primary goal is to get to the stellar mechanism. Now, in this craft, it is quite a few dips back and forth to the well. For example, the fuse consciousness, which is, in my opinion, one of the coolest items we can craft in here. This right here just requires us to start off and kind of redo some stuff that we've done. So the anomalous design, this is going to require 4 of each of our different spirits. With all the spirits inside of our spirit altar, we can then combine them into this beautiful craft. And there we go. We now have a completed design. With this completed design, we do need to head back. Like I said, we're going to be traveling back and forth to the well to commune again with this deep, mysterious well. And crafting, one of my opinion, the coolest item because it turns this whole pool rainbow, which I think is so cool. I mean, that is a wicked animation. Oh, that is still so cool. Wish more of the crafts had animations like this inside that pool. I also need to make some more alchemical calyx. There we go. Now to make the stellar mechanism, which is going to involve placing a few things on the pedestal here, and then also the alchemical calyx in the center. And there we go. After the items are consumed, we now have ourselves the stellar mechanism. This will become the centerpiece for producing our purified spirit. But we're also going to need several other things. For example, we're going to need some malignant pewter ingots, and this is why I ended up making that malignant lead. This will take some null slates, also the malignant lead itself, and then some netherite scrap, and then 4 iron ingots to craft this. With those items consumed, we now have the malignant pewter ingot. This ingot, by the way, is used to upgrade the soul-stained gear that we made originally to make this malignant gear. This malignant gear is pretty interesting, as it would take our mana and such and basically create a shield with it. I would definitely say that gear is a less of a magic-focused gear set and more of a, well, combat-focused. Now, another ticket item is going to be the iridescent ether, and we're also going to need ether as well in its normal form, which isn't too bad to get. This, however, is going to require arcane charcoal, and after looking at this, it looks like arcane charcoal just comes from us just smelting regular runewood logs. So I'll just pop this in here, and that should smelt up. Maybe? Nope, I completely thought wrong because this runewood log actually needs to go inside of an alloy smelter. So I'll just place this in and that will give me the coal. With that, I can now craft up the ether that's going to be required of us. Perfect. I believe that these are just like, yeah, light sources, and you can pick them up, place them down, and they're really cool looking. And we need to turn it into an iridescent, which is going to use that arcane charcoal, and all of these combined together should produce that. Man, you still just have to appreciate the animations that go on in the crafts. I wonder, what does this one actually look like? Oh, it has like a little blue flame at the top. That's kind of cool looking. And same thing, yeah, you can just pick it up. The next item is going to be cursed sap balls. And to be able to get cursed sap, well, we're going to need an unclaimed right ritual like you see behind me. And if you haven't set one of these up already, you need to place in like some sort of dirt or sand, or it needs like some sort of earthen material underneath it. Doesn't really work with the coral blocks. And you'll get something like this. Then we'll take some exposed runewood logs that we find from our regular runewood trees, and when we place these on this right area, it will convert this into some soulwood logs, exposed soulwood to be exact. Then we can strip these logs and we can pull sap out of them. I think that's pretty cool. And with the 2 sap bottles combined together, we end up getting ourselves cursed sap balls. I wonder what happens if you drink this stuff. Oh, did it just give me strength? I feel like it gave me strength. I think I get passive resistance, but I'm pretty sure it just gave me strength. Nope, it definitely also gave me resistance. But the final thing in the list is going to be the warped flux. And to get your hands on warped flux, I believe it's just from taking on the Enderman with the scythe. There's a chance of you actually getting it. And we have taken on quite a few, as I do have 66 of these. With this done, we just need to combine all 8 spirits, 32 of each, inside of our spirit altar. Then on each pedestal, we place the malignant pewter, the iridescent, and also the cursed sap ball and the warped flux. Then last but not least, we throw in the stellar mechanism, and everything should come together. All of our hard work through getting into Malum and all of this fun stuff we've done thus far has led to this point. All of our items combining together to create this pure essence, this pure material. Yes, purified spirit. With this purified spirit, we have now crafted just about everything needed in order to make the Aesirium. And with this, we can now head back to Midgard. And heading back to Midgard, I need to take a look and dive deeper into Draconic Evolution. See, we're going to need all of these upgraded. We're going to need to upgrade to at least the Draconium tier in order to craft this item in the first place. This is also going to take over 1 billion power, which means we need 6 Draconic fusion injectors, which need to be all upgraded, and we also need a Draconic core. Now, for us to be able to craft 4 blocks of awakened Draconium, which is going to be required for making these Draconic fusion injectors, I am going to need a block of Draconium for each injector upgraded. So that'll put us at a total as of right now of 12 Draconium blocks needed. But that's not the only one we're going to need, because we also need to make a Draconium core. And to be able to make a Draconium core, well, we're going to need another block of Draconium for these 4 here. So this means that we are going to need a total of 4 dragon hearts in order to complete this. Or do we? See, I was looking at the quest, and as soon as we craft this Draconium block, we actually get a free heart, which is kind of nice. But I also noticed as soon as we make a Draconic fusion injector, we get given a Draconic core, meaning we actually don't need that extra Draconic core for the craft. And I've already taken on the dragon once, and so this sets us back to really only needing to kill the dragon, I believe, 1 more time, because we just simply need 1 more heart, which means in reality, we need a total of 3 hearts in order to finish this. With the quest giving us 1 and us already having 1, I just need to take the dragon on 1 more time. So this means we need to respawn the dragon in. So I'm going to craft up 4 end crystals and let's get this done. I think with this though, we deserve to travel back to the Bifrost and go through the portal this way. It just seems so much more fitting at this current stage. This is always so cool to get to see. As we run along, I believe we're looking for the Pride, I think, or the Greed. I think it's the Pride rune. Yes, it's this rune right here. This will take us directly into the end. And here we are. And so here we go again to re-summon the dragon. I just need to place it all in these corners and let it resummon. These explosions, though, are so satisfying looking. Now let's do this. Yes. First thing I need to do is go up, make sure I'm outside of the arena, and I want to blow up each of these crystals. You know what? I could probably just be close enough just to be able to break them. Oh, wow. It drops your flight immediately when that happens. Now, something I did do is I headed back to Midgard and I made myself the Archmage Smite, which is pretty easy for me to make. And this allows me to have an unlimited arrow, by the way. And you can also shoot like shotgun shells, which is just super cool, allowing me to pop these crystals pretty fast. And then it's just a matter of me simply shooting the dragon. Another cool thing you can do is you can hit G with the Archmage Smite, by the way, and it will lock on to an entity when it is within range. You can see it just keeps shooting them nonstop. And so this should technically form onto the dragon, and it does home. So that's also a thing that is pretty wild. I wonder how strong the dragon is if I'm just like underneath it hitting it. Oh man, that is super loud. Easy though. Also, while the Archmage is active, we can also use other abilities. And so I just stand here and keep at the dragon, and then eventually this dragon is all but done for. Perfect. In which I can grab that dragon heart, and I think now we're good to go. Back at Midgard, I can now throw all of the ingredients together, hit the plus button to move them all into position, and then we can start the charging process. This is going to craft up our first draconium block. Well, the first 4 draconium blocks we're going to need, because we are going to need quite a few of these. And there we go. We have this sped up in the back, which just speeds up that crafting operation. And now we have ourselves the awakened draconium. And again, inside of our quest, we now get another dragon heart. So I've just got to essentially craft up all of the other sets. With the last one crafted, it's now time for us to technically start upgrading our injectors. Each of these to upgrade are going to cost 2 wyvern cores and also 4 diamonds. Then also the draconium. So with this, we place the item in just by clicking that plus like I did before, and we can start to upgrade these one by one. Does take quite a bit of time to charge, but when we upgrade these to draconium, it's going to allow power to pass through them much, much faster. And now that we have our first injector, that should complete that quest, and we now get between 2 to 4 draconic cores. And I got super lucky and ended up getting 4 of them. And so technically that right there has finished up the last remaining items, besides getting all of these upgraded, well, to the new draconium injectors, which this is simply just going to take me some time. Yeah, I mean, these do get faster and faster. I mean, the more of the draconium or draconic fusion injectors you have, you can see the faster overall it is charging. These are all inside of that. Charges so much faster now. But this is technically the last injector needed, and this used up our last awakened draconium block. So now this is it, right? This is the final piece of the puzzle before we can craft that special item. I'm pretty excited about this. Aesirium. Here is everything needed. We have everything in our bag to be able to craft this. We just simply need to make sure we have enough power. So it is now time. We just need to bring all of the ingredients into our inventory, everything that we have worked towards, that we have crafted up thus far, all basically combining at this very moment. And we just need to craft this. There is literally everything in the injectors. And so it is now time to craft. This is going to take a while to charge up. Remember, this is 1 billion FE. Slowly it is increasing, you can see right here, but it will eventually reach a cap threshold. It is pulling as much power as possible out of my system, and it will eventually start relying on only providing this with 500,000 RF per tick. And it's at this point right here. So it's going to take some time. If we check too over here on our power reactor, we will see it is completely drained. We are now producing 476,000 FE per tick, and that is currently what is supplying most of the power that is going into this. And it is already almost fully charged. All right, this is the moment where everything comes together, and we have Aesirium. This item, the culmination of a journey. There we go.
As God kindles, faith as the first star after a long winter's night. It's unmistakable. The Norse wove no thread for this. You have carved it yourself. Against fate, against prophecy, against the death the gods accepted. This is why I chose you.
I was the chosen one? Sorry, I'm definitely breaking character here. But we have done it. We gain our Asgard skill points. But just when we think we're finished, we still have the final ritual. Upon reaching Nidhogg's arena, I will need to provide several materials to the summoning altar at the center of the arena to summon his spirit. And so all of these other items are going to be items required of us to be able to technically summon Nidhogg. All items for the summoning altar can be seen here. For example, we need a Hellforge ingot, a vampiric cluster, fire cluster, ice cluster, nature cluster, arcane cluster, and the celestial cluster. And most of these items, they don't seem too bad in order for us to obtain. Now, these null gems, I do believe these did come from us taking on the different bosses. So you get those, and then you can also get some null shards from that, but also making null shards is pretty easy as it doesn't really require a whole lot of life points to be able to make a bunch of these. We are going to have to make some more, but I currently have quite a few already on me. So making some of these gems shouldn't be too bad. For example, this is going to use life essence, and that's going to convert into a vampiric shard, which doesn't really need all that much in order to be able to do. But this next one, well, this does require quite a bit of life points in order to convert. So letting this consume everything, that is the last one, at least for making the vampiric. And all of these are sort of based on situations that we've already been through, which is kind of interesting. So we're going to take this over to our table. We need to combine this together with a magician's or master's blood orb. I think it's a master's. We also need a certain amount of LP stored in our system. So yes, placing a master's in here is going to work. 2 of these crystals and these all combined, I do believe they have to be in their own slots. And that will combine together to give us a vampiric cluster. This being probably one of the easier ones for us to craft after looking at several of these recipes. Next will be the fire cluster. I just need some lava. And so these little null shards, they get tossed into here and get turned into fire shards. Then the big ones need to be thrown into pyrotheum, and that gives us the big fire gems. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to craft all of the basic different gems before combining them all together. So next on the list is going to be the ice clusters. And for this one, I had already technically made the ice gems, as we did use this and we used our cryotheum when we had it. But this is also going to need powdered snow to make the shards. So over here, I can place down a bucket of powdered snow, and we're going to need 4 individual gems for this. And that one doesn't even consume the snow. That's nice. Nature shards, I mean, these require lightning, and the nature gems, well, they require some energized stuff. So I'll just drop all of these, and I'll hit them with some lightning, and that should give me the nature shards. Now for the nature's gem itself, we need a null gem, bottle of lightning in here, 2 nature's essence, and then also 2 blocks of sunny quartz. That gets combined together, and now we should have the nature gem. The arcane cluster is also kind of cool. We need to melt down source gem fluid. So it's back to our Tinker's construct area where I guess source gem can be broken down. So with molten source gem in here, can I just click this? Can we fill a bucket with this? How much is it even going to take? I would assume it fills a bucket, right? Maybe it needs even more. It needs 1,000 millibuckets. So that created ourselves a molten source gem bucket. And I guess I can just place this in the world here. That is perfect. And this is going to take 4 of these null shards, and it gives us back arcane shards. Here's where things get interesting though. It wants us to make empowered oil, and we're gonna need dragon ice, wrought iron. I mean, these are all things that we definitely have access to, but all these need to go in here, and it needs to be dropped into empowered oil. But empowered oil is kind of a multi-step process. First thing we need to do is get ourselves some canola seeds, and that needs to be grown. And so we can just simply right click and harvest all of this. And this is going to grant us canola. With that canola, we can make a canola press. And so I'm just going to place the canola press down. And this is where we're going to place canola. I just need to give this some power. So I'm going to place a point on here connected to our main power system. and just let this start making some canola oil. We need at least a bucket of it. Then we're going to need ourselves a fermenting barrel from Actually Subtractions, so we can place that over here for now. And we just want to take the oil from here and put it into this, and this is going to slowly refine itself. We're going to need a bucket of the refined oil. While that's fermenting, I want to head over to my atomic reconstructor, and I just want to throw down a couple of these seeds. And I believe if we don't have this lens on here, that should convert it into a special kind of canola, crystallized canola. I then want to take one of those crystallized canolas and add it with 4 of these regular canolas. And I'm going to place this on our empower because we need to empower this one empowered canola seed. After getting that done, I definitely have some refined canola. So we'll take this and I'm just going to place this, I guess, right here for now, which is going to work just fine. So we'll drop this in. And then I'll place in the crystallized canola, which turns this into crystallized oil. And then I'll drop the empowered canola in it, and that turns it into empowered oil. Good old classic Actually additions. Now, dragon ice for this recipe, we can get it just like so. One of the ice dragon den areas. With that, we'll drop the wrought iron, the dark steel, the dragon ice, and the null gem all inside of here, and that should convert like so. Then for the celestial shard, we are going to need void reagent. After crafting the reagent here, we then need to use this, well, in our alchemy array. This should be doable by clicking the alchemy array and then hitting the null shard and then hitting it with the void reagent. Oh, it's so cool every time seeing the animation. But we've got to do this for each individual shard here, right? Yes. Now for the celestial gem itself, this is going to require another abyssal pearl, which means that we are going to need to smash some more items together. So I'll just drop skystone, void reagent, and empowered crystal, and drop an anvil on it, and that gives us an abyssal pearl. We then need to combine this with a bucket of molten ender, which comes from ender pearls. And we'll place this somewhere in here. I guess I can probably put it here. Then we'll place our molten ember and drop the abyssal pearl inside. And that turns into Dew of the Void. Now, you know, just because it has dew in the name, you probably shouldn't try to drink it. But boy, do I wanna. But the final thing is to just simply drop these in and we get the celestial gem. That, my friends, is every single gem and shard that we are going to need to make every individual cluster. I have now made my way back to Helheim, and I'll just simply put all of these ingredients in one by one. And there's the fire cluster, the ice cluster, the nature cluster, arcane cluster, then last but not least, the celestial cluster. That being the final one in this list. One of the only other items required for this summoning is going to be an Hell Forged Ingot. And that completes every item needed. Now, I think I could prepare myself a little bit more. I could make myself a little bit better of a chess piece. There is a way. I could make myself the Lightbringer's chess piece, which will give me even more armor toughness, but also even more stats and more spell power, which I think will be really good for facing off with the boss. But to get this, we do need a Divine Soul Shard. To get a Divine Soul Shard, we must travel back here in, well, Muspelheim. This is the building I'm looking for, and inside here contains some really awesome things. One, a special boss that should drop that shard, but also down here is a beautiful library. And inside these chests contain these particular things like chained books, ancient knowledge fragments, tons of different utility things for us, tons of different spell scrolls also. Now, there are protectors in here. These guys do spawn, but man, this is definitely a test of our strength, being able to just one-tap these guys. These mobs drop Cinder Essence also, and this allows us to make the Cinderous Soul Caller. And with this item, we should be able to summon a boss that resides up top. As I make my way to the top, we will discover a fantastic arena. This place is incredible. For this, I definitely want my blood pendant enabled, so that way we have night vision so we can see this a lot clearer. But yes, we did get these chained books, but yes, this Cinderous Collar is what we need to activate this. So we right click, and the boss will spawn. It's such a cool battle. Oh, how cool is that? Yes! Dude, these animations are so good. So epic. This is one that, like, fighting in third person looks so cool. Yes, but let's take out his minions, and we shall be able to deal a ton of damage. Look at this scythe. It's got an epic scythe, too. Nice. We move into the next phase. 1/4 down. Oh, that's so cool. Iron spells, man, has really come a long ways. All right, so here we go. Want to run up? I hit it again. We could definitely pop this thing pretty quick, I think. And when's it gonna launch? He is like, oh my goodness, that was a major explosion. I love how we take like no damage now, which is very, very hopeful in my case for this boss. That's sick. Yes. All right, let's take this guy out. Be done. That was epic. It just fades away and drops all of these items, including a divine soul shard and a key, in which this key should be usable down here inside of this, right? And what do we get from this? Gold? Diamonds? Gold? Rare ink? Legendary ink? That's actually not bad at all. Oh, we're getting a whole bunch of stuff. But we got a very special ingot here too. Oh, wow. We can use it to make a statue of this thing. How cool. The main thing though that I wanted was this, so that way we can get the Lightbringer's chest. But if we fight it one more time, we could also get these boots of speed. However, with those, we would lose out on our armor toughness, so I think I might opt out of that. Even though it would give us even more spell power. Man, this is... I'm gonna fight it again. This time, however, I do want to see how fast can I actually take it out. This is going to be quite epic. I'm going to first try to get behind it. I'm assuming it's immune right now. That's such a cool animation. But yes, go right behind it. Just keep hitting it. Full damage. Jump in between waves. Yes. And then execute. That was a quick defeat. So good. This scythe is so sick. And now I'll take the key and I'll activate this one. And see, is it the same? So we got mithril scrap that time. That's not bad. Rare ink, epic ink. Ooh, we got a ring of recovery, some runes. This gives you so much good loot. And another ingot, which is perfect. And 2 ancient knowledges. That's so nice. To craft this, I will need more mithril, which is going to require 5 mithril per weave. And this is also required for the boots. And to do this, I'm just using a catalytic lens. I have the mithril down here, and I'm setting it about Y level -59, give or take. So basically diamond level, and I'm just continuing to mine everything out. And as you can see from this, I am gathering quite a bit of mithril just from doing this. Also, to put this in perspective a little bit, also 1 ingot is equal to 4 scrap, and 1 scrap is going to be equal to, well, all of this. But it does look like we do have mithril here. We could definitely make mithril seeds. So I can now take all of this mithril, combine it into mithril ingots, and then, yes, that should make life a whole lot easier in getting mithril because we have our mystical agriculture set up. Perfect. All of this combined together, and we'll have ourselves a singular mithril seed, which... beautiful. Right now, I'll plant this in our super grower and then, well, just collect these, collect it all. All of this essence just grants us just mithril ingots. So good. Then I just need to craft the priest robes here. And then this gets combined together to make the Lightbringer's chest piece. Then for the boots, we need the Arch Evoker boots. And then this gets combined together with feathers, and we get ourselves the boots of speed. And currently our armor value is at 44. If I take these off and put this on, it still remains at 44, but we get so much more bonuses on our spell power. So to put it in perspective, as you can see here, the spell damage, for example, on Ball Lightning is 25, but with this equipped, our ball lightning now does 26.6 damage. All of our spell damage is going to increase. But also, the speed at which you can cast while actively moving is another crazy thing that you can do with this gear. And now we get to look like this, which I gotta admit kinda goes with the helmet a little bit. With this, I'm feeling a lot more confident in hopefully being able to take on Nidhogg, considering that this thing has over 1,000 HP and uses some crazy high level spells. And this guy also summons dragons. This is going to be something else. But if you think I have what it takes to take on Nidhogg and be able to save Asgard, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and well, give this video, guys, a huge thumbs up. And with that being said, it's now time for me to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode. And that amazing thanks is going to go out to Danny. Thank you so much for your amazing support and choosing to support me over on the Discord by becoming a Discord premium member, supporting my content in one of the best ways possible. Thank you so very much. And guys, I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. And as always, thanks for watching.